Hello, everyone. Let me post this link here. I'm coming on because there is a Rolling Stone article that Kathleen just tweeted. And in that article, there is this voicemail where you can hear the voicemail that was left on Kathleen's cell phone by the state. And for some reason, some people can play it and hear it and others cannot. So I will play it now since I'm able to play it so you can hear it. Ready? It's only 30 seconds.
Hi, Tom. This is Mark Williams. I'll send you an email later today, but I don't think we should do anything or respond to it at all until tomorrow when we look into the bag and see exactly if the pelvic bones in there or not. So I would not respond until we look into the bag tomorrow morning, and then we can talk about it before we send a response. Thanks a lot. Bye.
And here, let me post, is the transcript of what it says in that call. All right. And so this is credit to Rolling Stone. They're the ones that have it in their article. I will play it again for y'all.
Hi, Tom. This is Mark Williams. I'll send you an email later today, but I don't think we should do anything or respond to it at all until tomorrow when we look into the bag and see exactly if the pelvic bones in there or not. So I would not respond until we look into the bag tomorrow morning, and then we can talk about it before we send a response. Thanks a lot. Bye.
So let me go back to this Rolling Stone article. So after that voicemail in the article, it says, this message has done little to dissuade Zellner's fears that the pelvic bone fragments have been destroyed as well. At the very least, Zellner tells Rolling Stone the message strongly suggests that the prosecutors aren't certain that the bones are still in evidence. And this is a quote from KZ. This is another first for me. Many times I have felt that certain prosecutors were obstructing my efforts, but this is the first time a prosecutor has actually called my phone and left a message confirming that fact. It's really very thoughtful of them. Zellner also believes that by destroying the bones, the state not only violated their own statute, they've also denied Avery his constitutional right to due process according to Arizona versus Youngblood. The 1988 Supreme Court decision requires proof that the state acted in bad faith by destroying or losing evidence. It's a very difficult standard to meet, but Zellner believes this case would qualify. Her January 24th motion asks for the case be remanded back to the circuit court so it can address these claims, both of which would all but require the court to overturn Avery's conviction. Here's another quote. They've been lying all this time about it. They've been lying to the court. This whole concealment of what happened to the bones is really a way bigger issue than testing them even, because if they've been destroyed, it's a violation of their state statute. I don't know if it's a felony, but it's up there, and that's what the court is grappling with. So, let me scroll up at the beginning of this article, which again, if you want to read this article in Rolling Stone, I posted the link in this live, as well as it's a separate post on Stephen Avery Project and in MAM Gossip. Let me scroll down to where Zellner talks to them. Okay, so it says, Jerry Buting even said, if her body parts are over in the quarry, then Stephen Avery's innocent because the prosecution said she never left the property. Plus, he's not going to bring the bones from the quarry and plant them in his burn pit. However, soon after the parties agreed to examine the bones, the circuit court issued a seemingly hasty decision denying Avery's petition for post-conviction relief, despite the fact that several court-ordered tests were still pending. Examining the bones has been put on hold pending a ruling by the Court of Appeals. Late last year, Zellner learned about a new type, blah, 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 so we know about the rapid DNA testing. Okay. Zellner's December motion and its disclosure about the 3 piles of quarry bones caught the eye of a third party, which is Carol Ann Fitzgerald, who provided Zellner with a copy of the previously undisclosed 2011 police report. Zellner's evidence control ledgers were from 2007, so she filed a Freedom of Information Act request for the most recent versions, which confirmed that all of the property numbers listed on the police report had indeed been checked out on that date. It also indicated that many of the human and suspected human bones recovered from the quarry piles had never been returned, confirming that they were among the bones that had been released to the Hallback family. And this is another quote by Kathleen. It isn't just the pelvic bone. There's about 10 bones that were recovered from the quarry. By giving them to the Hallback family, they have just confirmed they believe those bones are human. It's a very sneaky way to get evidence destroyed. It seems very deliberate that the thinking was, we need to get rid of these bones, but we can't just go in and cremate them ourselves. At first, Zellner believed the pelvic bones fragments must still be in evidence, but Fallon and Gahn had agreed to the microscopic examination. So another quotes from Kathleen. Then I started thinking, why didn't the state tell the court in December when I asked to test those bones? There are no bones to test? I start worrying that the pelvic bones have been given back too, even though that's what we kept talking about testing, and they were telling me they had it. But I can't trust them about anything because they haven't disclosed to the court or anyone that they gave all the bones to the Hallbacks. Upon closer review of the evidence control ledgers, Zellner found a notation indicating that the pelvic bone fragments had been deemed only human, and they too had been removed from evidence control in 2011 and were never returned. Zellner has submitted to the court, and Rolling Stone has reviewed more than a dozen exhibits which corroborate these claims. After filing her first letter to the Court of Appeals on January 11th, Zellner sent multiple emails to Fallon requesting an update on the status of the pelvic bones, asking outright if they'd been released to the Hallback family as well. On the morning of January 13th, Zellner received a voicemail from attorney Mark Williams, who is co-counsel on the Avery case alongside Fallon and Gahn. The voicemail and transcript were filed along with her January 13th letter and provided to Rolling Stone and can be heard here. And let me play that for you again.
Hi, Tom. This is Mark Williams. I'll send you an email later today, but I don't think we should do anything or respond to it at all until tomorrow when we look into the bag and see exactly the pelvic bones in there or not. So I would not respond until we look into the bag tomorrow morning, and then we can talk about it before we send a response. Thanks a lot. Bye.
So what the bottom line here is that they got rid of evidence. They covered it up. And they've been lying about it all these years because Sweaty Sweat's narrative, depending on if it's Stephen or Brendan's case, Teresa's killed in the bedroom or the garage, and then for some reason put in her own vehicle to be driven just behind the garage. Makes no sense. And she's burned there. So why would her bones be all the way at the Manitowoc gravel pit, which you have the residences, the quarry, the rat ant quarry, then the gravel pit. It's the farthest point away. So why would Stephen have Teresa at the gravel pit, but then bring parts of her and put it back at his house and leave, and pull the car there? And so he, Sweat prosecuted him on this narrative and saying at court that these pelvic bones, that he wasn't even going to devote 20 seconds to talking about these pelvic bones because they don't know what they are. And that back then, since the bones were burned, they couldn't do any testing on them to determine what those bones were. But it was agreed that those bones need to remain in evidence. So when our science changes and evolves, that the testing can be done on them, which is where we're at now. That there is that rapid DNA ID testing that just was approved, was it June of last year, that Kathleen can get the results in 2 hours. And the state has been leading Kathleen on all this time, saying that those bones would be given to her for testing. And in all the documents that had been turned over to Kathleen when she took on this case, it did not have the ledger of these bones being signed out to Karen Hallbach, that Wiegert gave them to Karen Hallbach. You can see that in the documents that were FOIA'd this just past weekend, where you see on the line that it's Wiegert signed and Karen Hallbach signed in 2011 to get those bones. But they never disclosed that to Kathleen. They never asked Stephen if it was okay to give those bones away to the Hallbach family. So let me play again for people who are just popping on here. The reason I came on is because Kathleen tweeted this Rolling Stone article. And in this article has a link to where you can listen to the voicemail that was left on Kathleen's cell phone. And for some reason, when some people click it, they get an error message. And when some people click it, they can listen to it. And so I'm one of the ones who can listen to it. So I went live so you guys can all listen to it. I will play it again. Now it won't play. Dun, dun, dun. Let me refresh it. Maybe I'm having an issue with it. It won't play now. Well, good thing we have it on here earlier, because now I can't get it either. Let me try and click on it from the article. Let's see if I can get it from there. Trying to bring it up now, but it's just circling. Nope, I can't play it now. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so Tom is asking, how strong do you feel this voicemail is? This voicemail, in my opinion, is not this big smoking gun that, other people are putting into. But it's just showing that they themselves don't know that they for sure have this bone. So just by them saying that, we have to open it up and see if it's in there. Well, why would it be a question? Why are you even questioning if it's in there? You should know it's there. And so if it's a call in between the two of them, shouldn't it be, yeah, this is so stupid. Let's, here, give her the bone and it's going to prove this, so by him saying we have to open the bag and see if it's there, it's admitting that they don't know for sure where that bone is. Was this voicemail a mistake? It could be, because he was calling her cell phone. So if he's using voice command on his phone and told his phone to dial such and such, have you ever had your phone like not understand you and call somebody else? I don't know. I guess we're going to have to hear the excuse from the state on why they're going to say they called her on accident. And then I know the guilters are faulting Kathleen, trying to use some third party privilege that she could get in trouble for releasing this. She didn't release it. She gave it to the state. The state is the ones that then, you know, when I got all the documents from them, the transcription was in there. And I was told from them that the only way you could get the audio is then to request it from the lawyer. So now, yes, she gave Rolling Stone the audio, but at that point, the court's already given you the transcription. Does it really matter that much to hear it yourself as opposed to just reading what it says? So, let me scroll through. Yeah, you're right, Melanie, because the call does start off here. I'll read the transcription again. That just says, "Hi, Tom, this is Mark Williams. I'll send you an email later today, but I don't think we should do anything or respond to her at all until tomorrow when we look in the bag and see exactly the pelvic bones are in there or not. So I would not respond until we look into the bag tomorrow morning, and then we can talk about it before we send a response. Thanks a lot. Bye." So, and that would have been yesterday that they were allegedly going to look into the bag. So I don't know if we will see some movement today. The state files something in response to this or not. But let me see. I'll try and play this thing again if I can get it, or if now it's officially gone for me as well here. Nope, I can't get it. So you'll have to just play this video over again from the start to hear it, since it was now recorded on here. Let me scroll through let me scroll down near your bottom over here where is the voicemail on Twitter, or how are you listening to it? Says Amanda. It's in a Rolling Stone article that Kathleen tweeted the link to today, and we posted it on Stephen Avery Project, as well as the link is in here in this live. Kelly asked, did KZ not try and return the call? Don't know. Lori Lynn says, if I were the Hallback family, I would want to know if it were Teresa or not. I agree. Tara Marie says, once she filed with the court, it becomes public knowledge. True, with FOIA. Carol says, if the quarry bones were not human per Kratz, why give them to Hallbach? Correct. So, all right, so now I'm down to the bottom of that. So that's all this live was. So I could play you that voicemail, since some people could get it and some people couldn't. And now I'm in the category of I can't get it as well. So to summarize, again, is this 8675 bone. It has always been agreed upon by both sides that this should be able to be tested once testing was available. That wasn't back during the original trial because of how the bones were burned, that they couldn't do anything with them. But Sweaty Sweat tried to claim that they weren't even human. We don't know what these bones are, because he doesn't want you looking at the gravel pit. Because if she's at the gravel pit, you must acquit, right? Because Stephen didn't go to the gravel pit. There's no evidence Stephen's at the gravel pit. Sweaty Sweat didn't say he was at the gravel pit. So these bones were supposed to be given to Stephen's defense team to test. They have been telling the defense team for years they'll give it to him. The document that Kathleen was given when she took over the case said that it was in evidence, But now after the FOIA, we see that Wiegert gave them to Karen Hallback in 2011. And they were delivered to a funeral home where Kathleen doesn't know if they were buried or cremated or what happened with them there. So the state has destroyed and covered up evidence that could prove Stephen's innocence. Big no-no. So I will end this live. Here, I will post again at the end of this live. Here's the link to the Rolling Stone article where you can go read the entire article, which has the interview with Kathleen. And here, let me click on the link of where you can try and play the voicemail for yourself. That's no longer working for me, but maybe it will work for you. Let me play it again since I'm here. Nope, still doesn't work for me. Ooh, it wouldn't post the link in here either when I tried. So weird. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to end this now, and this video will remain up on here so you can hear the voicemail if you're not able to get it yourself from the Rolling Stone article. And as soon as we get any information on anything, we will get it posted here on Stephen Avery Project and in MAM Gossip, where we get a little more in depth into this case as well as others. So, keep the faith. Kathleen's going to get him out.